The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell as we venture into the late stages of the week, Ty. And, man, we have a really good show for you today. 12:15, we're going to have a very special guest with Skylar Skarneckia, who's going to come on and just kind of tell her inspirational story. If you don't know it, stick around and listen to it. It's going to be a little bit different than our normal interviews. You know, usually we do the back and forth Q&As and then question, answer. Today is going to be more of just letting her tell her story, and then we'll have questions at the end. Then we're going to have some guests from the Whiting Roll-Off 16U team that has been setting the world on fire. They are leading the standings in 16U, and their offense has been on some kind of level. We'll talk to their head coach and Nathan Craig at 115 and 130 as we just begin our voyage into shining a light on that team.
Yeah, and we're excited to get into a lot of these players that have yet to make appearances on Running Point too, and some new players that we're going to see in a lot of the brackets too, at 14U, 16U, and 18U over at Bobstein Park, as well as all the other travel ball too that we have out there as well. So we are going to be introduced to a lot of new faces too on Running Point. It's going to be an exciting summer.
Let's go into last night's Class B results, since we're going to be talking about 16U today. Last night was 18U. And we'll start all these games, Ty, were pitched really well. No one got over 4 runs on the day. And we start with Dura Edge, who won 4-1 over Avalanche. And then Nightline, they battled with Creekside, but Creekside stays in that second place spot. 4-2, they get the win over Nightline. Athletics edges Eagleware 4-3, and then Ballistic gets the win over Whiting's 18U team 4-1. So a big day in 18U. We did have one more game. It got suspended because the rain started to come late in the night as the Astro Falcons and the Prospects got suspended. The Falcons were leading 3-1 in the top of the fourth, so that game will have to be continued on another day.
Yeah, and that was another one of those games too where we're gonna have to battle with Mother Nature this season too, as we're gonna see if it's gonna ever decide to be kind to us. Again, I don't know what we did to make Mother Nature so angry here in Ohio, but if you could just please calm down on us for a little bit, that would be.
We tried to get a game under the lights, but Mother Nature wasn't having it.
No,
It rained all night.
No.
We can't have that. We can't have that. Let's go and look at the standings real quick after the games from last night with Class B 18U bracket, or 18U division, I should say, as we bring it up. And Avalanche, of course, still in first place with that undefeated record. And as I said before, Creekside staying right in it with, getting the win, and they have just one loss on the season. So they're right there. As we venture into the standings, of course, the Astros did not finish their game last night, so they are one game behind everybody, 7-0 on the season. Creekside 8-1, and we have Dura Edge now 6-3, and the Avalanche are 5-4. Starting to separate between the middle of the pack and the bottom as we get more and more games in.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're going to see that too. And some of these teams have one more chance, and they're at a fork in the road point of the season too. Are you going to feast or famine here? Where are you going to go to? You're going to need to start picking up wins and to get yourself back into standings wise for these divisions.
Big win for Dura Edge last night over Avalanche. That's 3 versus 4. Dura Edge gets the wins to separate themselves. So Dura Edge sitting at 6-3. They're 2 games back, and I think that win kind of keeps them in the hunt.
Yeah, I think no doubt it does too. I mean, just being able to stay within a few games back too, and with a handful of games still to go too, there's still plenty of time to make some ground up here, no doubt.
And once again, the Avalanche will have to continue their game with the Prospects. They are up 3-1 in the top of the 4th. Richie Giuliano was on the call. He graciously updated us on what that was going.
Yeah, I mean Richie does a great job too. Every time he's on the call anywhere, so doing a great job with the scrappers over the course of this summer too. Which, by the way, and I don't know if you noticed, I'm sure you did too. We were talking about that scrappers game yesterday too. How about the scrappers last night too?
Well, I was introduced. I didn't know the extra inning rules for this draft league. So apparently they go by half inning. So if you win the top half of the inning, it's over. So the Scrappers won 6-5 in extras last night. A little bit wonky MLB rules that Richie had to kind of walk me through.
Yeah.
So it is 6-5. The website had it a 5-5 tie, but Richie said that glitch happened the last time the Scrappers went in extras, and it's one of those things where the website updates the standings and it goes down as a win for the Scrappers, but for some reason their box score on the website was stuck at 5-5.
Yeah, but nonetheless, 3 runs in that ninth, and to come back, that's huge for the scrappers too. They were able to tie it up, and
The
then
scrappy team, no pun. Well, actually, pun intended. Pun very
yeah,
much intended.
yeah, for sure, no doubt.
The Scrappers will be back home this weekend. And reminder that tomorrow we'll be doing our ticket giveaway. We'll be giving away 4 tickets to any Scrappers home game that you'd like to go to this season. We do that every Friday. We'll be giving away tickets. So stay tuned to that. We'll have a trivia question. First to answer in the comments gets the 4 tickets. Last week, Ty, the winner was very quick with the draw. So you got to be on your toes tomorrow if you want Scrapper tickets.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have a trivia question locked and loaded up for you guys, ready to go for tomorrow too. So get ready and get on for Running Point tomorrow too. Chance to win 4 scrappers tickets.
All right, without further ado, we're going to welcome in a very special guest to Running Point, and it is one that we are so excited to welcome in, Skylar Skarnecchia. Like I said before, this is going to be a little bit different than our normal interviews where it's just a back and forth Q&A. Skylar, I think your story deserves to be told unabridged, unedited, and I wanted to give you as much time as you wanted to take to kind of tell it, and we're going to let you do that, and then I'm sure we'll have questions about it after you're done.
Well, thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, no problem too.
When I was 10 years old, I was diagnosed with stage 4 synovial sarcoma cancer in the bottom of my right foot. And when I found this out, I was playing sports when I was going to my 5th grade year, playing basketball and soccer. And I started feeling this pain on the uneven ground on the grass, and it was pressing in the bottom of my foot, and it hurt excruciatingly. And I told my parents, and we went to a foot and ankle doctor, and they were like, "Oh, this is just plantar fasciitis." And I went through physical therapy and went through all of that, and it wasn't getting better. And with my mom's instinct, she was like, "There is something wrong with my daughter. We need to go further into testing." So I got an X-ray, and it showed that I had a tumor in the bottom of my foot. And then they were like, "Well, what do you wanna do now? Do you wanna go up and get more scans or get a biopsy?" So we were like, "Send us to the Cleveland Clinic," and I went to go get a biopsy. That was a day that changed my life forever because they were like, "It's gonna be benign. It's not gonna be anything severe," and turns out it was stage 4 cancer. That's when a whole whirlwind of things just started happening in my life. I started multiple rounds of chemo, and unfortunately, after those rounds, it wasn't shrinking or doing anything, so we had to go with the alternative, which was amputation. And hearing this at 10 years old and being an athletic kid, it just flips your world upside down. You have so many questions and everything like that, but my first question was, it wasn't really a question, but hey, that's one less foot I have to clip toenails on. That was my reaction. And, you know, I think the doctors were very surprised by that reaction because you wouldn't expect that from a child. But a few weeks later, I went through the amputation, and that's when it finally hit me. Like, you know, my everyday life is going to be changed just from waking up in the morning to putting on a leg to showering and playing sports. So when I got my prosthetic, I realized I was like, I can have a normal life again. I can do this, but it all took a positive attitude. If I didn't have the positive attitude, I wouldn't be playing sports like I am today. I would probably still be laying in that bed, sulking over what just happened to me. But I'm a survivor. I officially am 5 years cancer free. And now I am playing wheelchair basketball and golf. And I have ran track in the past and played stand up basketball. But those endeavors have came to an end. And now golf and wheelchair basketball are my life. And that's where I am right now. So, you know, when crappy things happen to you, all you can do is just think on the bright side because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm living proof that you can get through anything if you just put your mind to it. And that's exactly what I had to do.
I want to take you back to the starts. You get that diagnosis, and it had to be a gut punch to you and your family and everyone that was close to you. What were some of the things that people around you were trying to kind of tell you to keep that positive attitude?
I think my whole community was just so supportive of me during this time and hearing all the positive messages. And I heard other people's stories, and I was like, well, I'm not alone in this. And cancer, when you hear you have that, you can't process it. When me and my family first heard that news, we all just it went silent in our living room, and we all just hugged each other and just cried because you hear that word and you're like, no way this is happening to me right now and my family. And not only am I going through it, but my whole family is too. So we were fighting as a family, and I couldn't have done it without them. It takes a village, and that's exactly what my family is.
And talking about that too, you mentioned that you kind of went with that positive mindset right out the gate too when you realized your options. What enabled you to have such a positive mindset so early on in a process that would be devastating news to so many? And what do you attribute having that kind of positive mindset to?
Sports definitely encouraged me to get that positive mindset because I did not want to stop what I love doing. I played basketball since I was in second grade. And hearing this, I was like, well, is this going to change what I'm going to be doing? But I was like, I see the technology nowadays with prosthetics and stuff. And I was like, wait, I could get back to my everyday life and playing sports. I could be just as good as everyone else. And, you know, I didn't let it slow me down.
You said that you got, told other stories and you read other stories. Was there one story in particular, someone that you read or someone that you heard that really kind of stuck out to you, like I can relate to what they went through that I'm going through?
So I met a girl when I was in the hospital named Maddie, and she became one of my best friends in the hospital because she was the only person I could kind of relate to. She had cancer, and her story, my surgeon like got us talking and everything. And right after my amputation, she came in, and I was having a hard time with changing the dressing off my stitches, and she gave me advice on how to handle it and stuff. And Maddie was just such an inspiration to me, and she encouraged me, and I needed to fight through this for her. And unfortunately, she did not win her battle with cancer, but I still think of her to this day, and I do everything for her, and I had to fight for both of us.
And I mean, looking at that, and just looking at the people that you met along the way too, who were some other people that you along the way that you served as inspiration for, I guess, or who are some people that I guess have questions for you? I'm sure you've had many other people come up to you with questions too. What are some bits of advice, I guess, you would give to people who are going through this now, or maybe just finding out about this now?
Well, my whole goal in life is to be an advocate for childhood cancer and amputees and people with disabilities. And recently, I've been going to elementary schools and talking to the kids about wheelchair basketball and that, hard things happen in life, but all you could do is just push through it. And adversity is like a really big thing in our world now. And, you know, we got to normalize disabilities, and so that's what I've just been teaching people, and it's okay to ask questions. And I'm so happy and so open to tell people about my story and disabilities and like all the struggles that we have in life, because people need to be open to that.
To tell your story the way you do, and to be able to go and talk to, elementary schools and speak about it, you have to kind of be vulnerable, and you have to be able to be open about what you've been through. Was it a journey to get to that point when you were able to be open about your story? And if so, how did you kind of get through that journey and make yourself open and vulnerable enough to be able to tell it?
For sure, you have to be very vulnerable while talking about it. And one day, it was like 2 years ago, and a kid asked me about it for like the first time. And I explained it to them because some kids don't understand what cancer is. I just said my leg got sick and I went through medicine, like the doctors gave me medicine, it just didn't work, so the doctors had to take my leg. And it's about just making your story of what people can understand. And with older people and like older kids, I do then go into more detail about it, and I'm open to that. Like, I don't think there was ever a moment where I didn't wanna share my story, because I knew that God didn't make me go through this for no reason. He did this for a purpose and a plan for me to share to other people to help them with their struggles.
What was the most difficult part of your journey, and how did you overcome that part?
You know, during this whole process, there are so many different things you have to struggle with, and I know this kinda sounds crazy, but mine was medicine, and I hated taking the medicine. It had so many different side effects and different tastes, and there's still things to this day where I can't, like, eat grape flavored stuff or orange flavored stuff because it just takes me back to those days.
Your story got brought to our doorstep because of the fact that you spent time with Champions girls basketball team, and you played with them and you played with that program. I know that endeavor is ended now, but I want you to talk a little bit about that experience and the coaching staff there, and how much you were able to kind of be a part of that team and what that did for you in your journey.
Yeah, so all the girls on my team were so supportive of everything that I've went through, and they were very understanding when I had to take a break to go dry off my leg, because with a heavy leg on, it gets sweaty, and the coaches were patient with me in that aspect and everything. And you know, God had a different plan for me, and it wasn't stand-up basketball no longer. So, I appreciated everything I went through on that team and all of those journeys and making it to districts this year with the team, but, it unfortunately had to come to an end.
Did it mean something to you to be able to get out there, still participate in a stand-up basketball, high school varsity level? Did it mean something to you to be able to prove to yourself that you still can do this, and you can get out there and still box out girls and still play at this level?
Yes, so whenever I got out on that court, I just wanted to prove myself, and I wanted to show people, like, this isn't holding me back in any way. Like, there's some of those girls that say, "Oh, she has one leg, so I'm gonna go easy on her," or there's those girls that be like, "Oh, she has one leg, I'm gonna go full out on her," and that's what I was always looking for. So I would always pressure the girls just to show them, like, "Don't go easy on me. I don't want that."
Now you're in the wheelchair basketball. How did that kind of come about? What got you started in it, and what do you love so much about being in that environment?
So in the middle of my basketball season, a Paralympian, Darlene Hunter, reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I see you play stand-up basketball, but I think wheelchair basketball would be an amazing opportunity for you. And there's a wheelchair basketball team for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is affiliated with the actual Cavs and everything. And so at first, I did not want to do it. I play stand-up basketball. I run. I could stand. I could jump. Like, why would I limit myself in a chair? And then I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, "Your pride is getting in the way of an amazing opportunity God is laying at your feet." And the next Sunday, I went up to the Cavs practice, and I fell in love with the sport all over again. And, you know, people still ask me those questions. Why are you sitting down when you can do all the normal things? And I'm like, because God gave me this opportunity. I wouldn't lose it for the world. And, the community is just so amazing with the wheelchair teams. And I got to go to nationals in Wichita, Kansas with the Cleveland Cavs. And it was amazing. That's when I knew, like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I found out while I was there, like, I could go to college for it. And I never knew that. I didn't know wheelchair basketball existed till Darlene reached out to me. And now I'm playing with the Pittsburgh Steelwheelers up in Pittsburgh for the juniors team, and then the Dallas Lady Mavericks for their women's team. So, I'm already getting out there, and I want a future in this sport.
What was some of the biggest adjustments for you personally switching over from stand-up basketball to wheelchair basketball?
When you're playing a stand-up basketball and then you sit in the chair, you're so used to standing up and using your legs while jumping to get the ball into the hoop. Where wheelchair, you're sitting down and you don't have any leg movement. So, of course, you have to build your upper body strength up, and that's exactly what I had to do. But I already had my form there, and I already had my dribbling skills. So it's all about putting it all together into the chair. And, there's different – honestly, all the rules are almost the same. But, like, dribbling's different. You only get 2 pushes while holding the chair. Holding the ball. So you get 2 touches to the chair while holding the ball. And then you have to dribble. Like, so that's a travel if you get more than 2 touches on the chair, So it's a big adjustment, but I think I got a hang of it pretty quickly.
When you talk to wheelchair athletes that are like you that had to go from, had to get into a wheelchair, they talk about getting acclimated to the chair and getting used to being in the chair. How long did it take for you to kind of get acclimated to being in a wheelchair and be able to maneuver it and be comfortable with everything that you have to do in a wheelchair?
So I think I'm still trying to get the hang of everything, but I've got it down pat pretty quickly. Being able to dribble while pushing the chair is the hardest thing, in my opinion. And it takes so much coordination, which that's something I had to learn. But other than that, I like the challenge.
In your experience too, we talked about your champion experience. I want to kind of talk a little bit about academics. Was there any teachers at the champion program that you feel worth shouting out to along your journey that had an impact on you or influenced you in some way?
My vice principal, Mr. Barson, has been amazing through the whole thing. He has came to my tournaments for wheelchair basketball, and he's just supported me with any academic and athletic thing throughout the last 2 years of my high school experience. So I really appreciate him.
You talked about college and your future endeavors in wheelchair basketball, but what about what things you want to study and careers you might want to get into and things you want to do in your future?
I'm really thinking about going into communications or journalism. I love talking to people and just sharing my story. Also, being a motivational speaker would be amazing one day.
And looking at that too, what are some classes that you're looking forward to taking at college that you might think are out of the box, but you think are going to be a new experience that you're excited for?
Honestly, I don't know. If I'm being honest, I'm still a sophomore, about to be a junior year, so that's stuff I do have to start looking into, but I only know the realm where I want to go into.
Now, with every athlete we bring on, we do rapid fire questions, and I don't want you to miss out on that. So we're gonna get to know you a little bit off the floor. And first thing I want to ask you is, if we gave you a time machine, would you want to go forward in time to see your future, or would you want to go way back in time to sometime in the past?
Go into the future.
How far in the future would you want to go?
To my college experience.
If you could meet and have dinner with anybody, living or dead, who would you want to have dinner with?
That's a hard question. Okay. I love Adele, so probably Adele.
What is your guilty pleasure dessert?
um, like chocolate brownies. I just love
Mm.
brownies.
Now, like, because brownie people are pretty like they're pretty selective on what kind of like. Do you like the gooey brownies? Do you like the cake brownies, frosting, nuts? Like, I want to get specific on your brownie.
Okay, I like when the chocolate chips are in the brownies. It's
Mm.
just the extra chocolate, and I prefer mine kind of gooier. So,
With an athlete, the post game meal is always important. What do you like to eat after a big game?
oh, pizza. I mean, gotta get those carbs back.
What's your favorite pizza place?
I like Basilio's in Cortland.
What toppings?
I like the old world style pizza with just like the sprinkle cheese on.
You've had a lot of teammates that you've been able to play with, whether it be in the wheelchair or whether it be in champion or all the sports you've been able to play in your journey. What teammates in any sport could get you to laugh no matter what the situation was?
I played AAU basketball a few years ago, and my teammate Mia Parker from Liberty, she is the one person I can always just laugh with about everything.
What about a teammate that you would trust the most to be a getaway driver?
Oh, Bella Meyer from Champion.
What teammate has the most swag?
Ooh. This on the Cleveland Cavs team that I play with, his name's Eric Westone. He has the most swag.
Have you ever come across a teammate that thinks they have a lot of swag and style, but they really don't?
That's probably me.
What is your favorite thing to do outside of sports as a hobby?
I like golfing and just hanging out with friends and family.
When you're hanging out, what's the go-to hangout spot for your friends and family?
My house, or yeah, just my house.
What was one childhood fear that you had?
I think my house catching on fire.
Uh, uh, I I guess you'd still have that. I usually follow that up with, "Do you still have that?" That's got to be a fear that stays with
It is
you.
here, yes.
I'm sure you have a lot of things you've been able to collect over the years. If that were to happen, knock on wood, it doesn't. What is one thing from your house that you would have to save that isn't a living thing, like an inanimate object?
My leg.
I've heard you named it though. Can we go through the naming of the leg and how that came about?
Yeah, so when I was in the hospital right after my amputation, the nurses would be leaving the room, and Bye Felicia was a big thing during like 2016. So I would wave my leg and I'd be like, "Bye, Felicia." So then my leg just was named Felicia, and the nurses then would repeat it back to me. So that's where Felicia's brand came from.
What is your favorite superhero?
Ooh, gotta say Captain America.
All right, who is your real life hero?
My real life hero, my parents.
Um, when you look at your whole journey, what is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew at the start of it?
That everything would be okay. And I have so many opportunities I would have never thought I was going to have.
What was the last series that you streamed on a streaming service?
Ooh, Stranger Things, the new season.
Have you seen the new season yet?
I haven't watched it all yet, but I'm almost done with it, and I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Grade it so far on like how it compares to the other seasons.
Okay, gonna have to say, I always like the earlier seasons because they're so original, but this one is just so thrilling. So I'm gonna have to give it like a 7.5.
All right, what is your favorite vacation spot?
Florida,
What is one spot that you haven't vacation that you wish you could?
Greece.
And if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live?
Colorado or Montana?
All right. Skylar, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your support system, the people that are always there for you and the people that you wouldn't be where you are right now without.
Shout out to my family for always being my rock through all of this. And shout out just to everyone who's been a part of my journey and has been supporting me. You know, there's not one specific person I could shout out, but shout out for Darlene, of course, for getting me into wheelchair basketball, and my amazing coach Tim Fox for Cleveland Cavaliers, and John Sikora at Pittsburgh. And so, yeah, thank you to all of those people.
Skylar, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about your story and letting us tell it and shine a light on it. We love talking to you. Open door policy. You're welcome on our show anytime if you just want to hang out, and we'll look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
That was Skylar Skornecki, and that was a amazing conversation. And Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell as we continue on this episode of Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Ysn. I don't know about you, Ty, but I got to kind of compose myself a little bit because that one got real.
It was a really great story too. I mean, I absolutely loved talking with Skylar too. We also have little bit of a surprise too. I just wanted to confirm too, just so no one's caught off guard. Aiden Linedecker too is also going to be appearing from Whiting Roll-Off 16U. He's coming on at 1 too, so it's going to be a Whiting Roll-Offs second half of the hour.
We're going all white. Whiting Roll-Offs. Aiden Linedecker coming on at 1. We're going to take our first break of the day, and we'll be back with more on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
I choose local because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our family's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Jimmy Sudman here, director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring PGA professionals, golf instruction, a players rewards club, kids programs, and a pro shop and grill room for a memorable golf experience. call or click to schedule your tee time at Mill Creek Golf Course.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers.
From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Now is the time to think about your future, where you want to go, what you want to be. Your future can start now at Kent State Salem or Kent State East Liverpool. We have programs that will open doors and provide opportunities for you to pursue your passion. We are affordable, we are close. You call it hometown, we call it Kent State University. Learn more at www.kent.edu/Columbiana. You belong here.
And you belong in Kent State, and you also belong here on Running Point. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Anthony Hartwig, and we are brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town, alongside Ty Bartel, who for a second I thought...
Not like the way that camera was situated.
I thought we were changing the camera angle. I was like, whoa, here we go. We're trying something new.
No, did not like the cutting the top of the head off. No, not at all. But
okay, now do you have a haircut?
Yeah, that happened a couple of days ago. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, because the one day you came on, it looked like you did, but you
said
no.
That was
just second guessing myself a little bit.
No, yeah, definitely got it trimmed up too. Needed it for summer too.
If you missed it, we just had a chance to talk to Skylar Skarnecchia, who, what an inspirational story. Spent time with Champions girls basketball team. Now is in wheelchair basketball with the Cavaliers affiliate and the Mavericks affiliate and the Pittsburgh Steel Wheelers for their junior team, doing a bunch of things as an athlete. That's what we want to kind of drive home. It's an athlete. You know, don't care if you're sitting down, standing up, running, wheeling, you're an athlete. And Skylar was a great athlete to talk to, a great story to hear, and it'll be on ysnlive.com very soon.
It was exciting too. I mean, we like we do with all of our athletes too. I always love the rapid fire portion of the interviews too, just to get to know them a little bit too. And Captain America, solid choice too. I think
it's a solid choice.
It's a solid choice. If you're gonna go with it, you got to go with one of the Avengers, right? One of the original Avengers. Like if you're going with a favorite superhero, I feel like one of those OGs.
I either like those, or I like the ones that kind of come off the wall and they're like, you know, they pick someone that not a lot of people have heard of. Like,
give me like a Doctor Strange. Like, you know, I love
like Static Shock or something like, you know, like Danny Phantom. Like what? You know, we're going like off the wall superheroes that not a lot of people have heard of.
Abomination.
That's not even a hero. What are you talking about?
It's a villain.
It's a villain. I am the villain of the story. But yeah, I love the rapid fire questions, and I love the story of getting to name her leg Felicia, because my Felicia.
That's awesome.
I forgot how big that was back in like 2015, so it makes total sense.
It lines up. Yeah, it's accurate with the times too. So, but no, what a story for her too, and I mean, inspiration to get all the way to this point, and like she said. Just to think that everything would be okay too. I mean, you're gonna have to go through quite a journey, but I mean, everything turning out the way it is too. It's great to hear too, and I'm so happy for her that she has so much coming up in her future, and it looks to be quite an exciting future too for her.
I'm just so amazed that a 10-year-old girl could hear that news, and one of the first things she says is, "I guess I won't have to clip my toenails anymore."
Yeah,
like. Don't you wish that you could have that mindset when bad stuff happens to you?
Seems like too, it's always the kids, man. It's always those younger kids that have such a positive outlook and such a positive mindset on.
They haven't been introduced to the nastiness of the world yet.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a flip side to it, and there's something to be learned from kids too, and having a positive mindset.
I wish we all could have kind of the innocent mindset of a child, because you know the world has a tendency to kind of make us cynical, and you know there aren't too many cynical children out there. You know, you talk to a 10-year-old, not a lot of cynical 10-year-olds out there. So you know, I wish we all could just go back to that mindset where we're not exposed to the harshnesses of the world that make us kind of cynical at times, and it would make dealing with personal adversity a lot easier if we all had that mindset.
I mean, I don't know how you don't feel inspired by her story though, because I mean, and it's her calling. She truly believes what she's doing is what she's supposed to be doing. And I think there's something to be said about it. She loves what she's doing, and she every wholeheartedly believes that this is her purpose to be here. So I don't know if it's necessarily because you look at that, and I just feel like I don't know how you feel nothing else but inspired by that too, because it's like, don't feel bad for me. I don't want you feeling bad for me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I mean, I love that. I love that attitude.
Best part of that interview, 5 years cancer free.
Exactly.
Favorite part. Love hearing that.
Yep. No, didn't have to deal with it. And hopefully, we just keep on that positive mindset too. I love hearing that news too. And I mean, just keep it on too for Skylar too, because that future I think seems so bright.
Follow Skylar on socials to keep up with her journey at I Am Skylar Strong on the social media platforms, and make sure you give her a follow and keep up with her story as she continues to inspire the world with her journey and her story. And it all started down here in our area, and Champion is always going to be a part of that. So local ties, Ysn ties, and it's going to go a lot deeper than just Warren, Ohio. She's going to impact the lives of people around the country. I have no doubt about that.
No doubt as well, Anthony. No doubt as well.
But we can say that we got to watch her play basketball at Champion.
Yeah, and that's awesome too. That's an awesome thing to be able to say too. And I mean, that was what a great story that was too. I mean, the fact that she was able to do that and play varsity level basketball in a very tough conference too.
Right.
I mean, that just showcases right there the heart and mind of
AAU. I mean, going to play AAU with players like Mia Parker, who we know how good she is, and that's impressive too.
No doubt.
Now, hey, your first experience with wheelchair basketball, you're going to go play for a professional affiliate. Like, you're not starting with like the local, getting your feet wet. No, you're going right to one of the biggest levels of wheelchair basketball you can go to. Like, that's just pure athleticism. That's just like one of those athletes, straight athletes.
And watch her. She's going to just continue to excel, I feel, man. She's going to continue to excel in it.
On that Instagram, she has a video of her doing straight pull-ups, and it's like, oh my word. I mean, it makes sense. You have to be ripped in your upper body to be a wheelchair athlete.
You absolutely have to.
But wow.
You got to be able to, and like you said, you got to be able to dribble and move the chair at the same time. That's tough to be able to work.
I can attest. It's not easy. It's not easy. Not easy.
Not easy. You told me about the horror stories of the times you've tried to play wheelchair basketball.
It's not fun. And then they were like, "Hey, come play wheelchair rugby," and I'm like, "What's that?" Oh, it's like wheelchair basketball, except you don't shoot. But you can knock each other over. I was like, no, thank you.
Each other over. How are the chairs designed for that? Are they able to be able to go down and back up?
Well, you don't want to knock people over, but you're in wheelchair basketball. You're not allowed to touch the other wheelchair.
Yeah.
In wheelchair rugby, you want to ram into the guy and try to get the ball out of his hands. So, but it's the steel athletics wheelchair with the inverted wheels, so it's really hard to tip over sideways. But if you do it right,
it's still relatively the same. I didn't know if they had a specialized chair for it. I
mean, it might be a little bit different. Like, I don't know every specific.
Well,
there might be a rugby wheelchair there might be a rugby wheelchair that's different than a basketball wheelchair. That might be some of the what's the word I'm looking for? Some of the specifics might be different. But I'm happy in my wheelchair where I feel safe and I have wheelie bars that keep me from tipping over.
You don't have to worry about people trying to ram into you, trying to grab.
Scotty does all the time. Scotty does all the time.
Scotty just flexes on you with his new chairs and his new chair.
Scotty backhands me like, shut up, man.
Scotty's like, I'm in line for another new chair, Aunt. So.
Yeah. Scotty's like, you know what? I'll be getting a new chair in like 3 months. I'm like, you little jerk. Those things are it's like a new car basically. So Scotty's gonna be rolling high. That's for sure.
We also talking about the rolling. We got the roll offs coming up here in about 15 minutes with Whiting coming up. We got Aiden Linedecker. We also have Coach Jason Bumbless, and then we also have Nathan Craig too from Whiting 16U over at Bobseen Park, leading 16U too in their respective division too. And I mean, looking at what they're doing, Anthony, we've been talking about them 8-1 on the season in that Livy division. Avalanche are right behind them. They're 8-2. Creekside 7-2. They're leading a very tough division though right now.
I believe they'll be back in action tonight. I think Thursdays are 16U nights, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so as well. Yep. I think you are correct on that. Yes, sir.
Let's bring up who Whiting will play tonight real quick.
Yeah, throw up their schedule quick.
Throw out their schedule since we're about to have them on.
Creekside. It's Creekside, right? Wouldn't it be?
Let's see.
Tuesday, June 7th was postponed. So you would think if they postponed it, they might be playing it. Unless they're not playing tonight. Let me see what the actual schedule is for team.
Oh, that's right. They do have the week off until the 14th.
Yeah, they do. But they come back to play. But they have to play Creekside too. So that's a postponed one. So now they still have 2 games with Creekside. That's going to be interesting too. And you know where Creekside's looming. And Creekside's the one team that has a win on them. I mean,
yeah, they opened the season with a loss to Creekside.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was high rolling ever since.
Including even beating the Astro Falcons too, 12-2. Their offense has been on a roll since that one though. And I mean, they've been double digit. We talked about it too. They've been double digit scoring ever since that. And I mean, their pitching hasn't allowed much. This offense just kicked that amp up to 11.
The standings in the other division still led by the Astros at 5-4.
Yeah, it's
5-4 leads the division. If that tells you anything about the parity in that division, 5-4, 4-4, 4-5 are the top 3 teams.
Yeah, and then you look at the Livy division, it's the opposite. It's a bunch of high rollers.
Hernandez division is still way up in the air as you have 4 teams that are 2 games separated from each other.
But I mean, so the Livy division still has. You have 3 teams that can very well get it. That has what, 1 loss separating all 3 of them. Like, it's going to get crazy here coming up for 16U as far as standings are concerned.
Yeah, we'll have to find out when that matchup with Creekside has been kind of going to be made up. Maybe that'll be one of the questions we ask Coach when he comes on, because that's a big one. You know, you get a win against the only team that beat you. That sends a statement to everybody that, you know, here we go.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, but I mean, like, looking at overall too in the whole in the standings portion of it too, you got teams right there too. You got the Avalanche that are right there as well. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see where Whiting beat the Avalanche too. That was one of their wins, 11-4 earlier this season, and they play Avalanche again Tuesday, June 21st, and then July 3rd. So you got 2 more matchups with Avalanche. And then you got 2 more with Creekside still on the season. So, I mean, it is wide open for this division.
We talked about it, but when you look at Whiting's scores, it's the first loss, and then everything else is double digits.
11-4 beat the Avalanche. That's a team that's second.
I think the most runs they've scored in a game is 17. They played 2 on Sunday, and they scored 29 points in 2 games. Runs. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, Anthony, let's be real now.
Let myself for good.
29.
I had to reboot a little bit.
I think DJ might have just dry heaved at his desk a little bit when he heard you call points, and I think he just dry heaved for us.
What did you just say? I'm surprised I'm not booted from the system right now.
Just kicks you off. No. But no, like you said too, 29 runs, but they've been on a string of scoring double-digit runs ever since that first loss. 8 consecutive games of scoring double-digit runs. That's huge too.
And the guy that we're gonna have on at 1, big contributor to that, Aiden Linedecker. I mean, batting over 600 the last time I checked.
Let me look at the updated average. Just under 548 hitter,
Okay,
Nathan
so
Craig is the batting leader too. So he's batting 588. Linedecker batting 548. Linedecker has 13 RBIs on the season, and he
extra base hits out the wazoo.
3 doubles, 4 triples. Yeah, and I mean he's walked 4 times, stole a couple bases as
With
well.
4 walks, I imagine what's his on base percentage?
On base percentage is 611.
Yeah,
he has
so he's
1
gotta,
strikeout on the season.
he's getting on more than 60% of the time. So
31 at bats, only 1 strikeout. And then Nathan Craig has 17 at bats in 7 games. He's batting 588. He's got a home run, 8 walks, no strikeouts, on base percentage 692 for Nathan Craig. So we got some pretty big bats in this 16U team coming up.
Pitching against that and be like, this guy literally gets on base 70% of the time. Good luck.
I also don't want to leave out the fact that Nathan Craig, as a pitcher too on the season, he's 2-1, 13 innings pitched, 1-1, 13 innings pitched, 1.62 ERA, 15 strikeouts. In that he's given up 9 hits, 3 earned runs.
That's the other thing. As much as we talk about
15 strikeouts to 2 walks ratio.
As much as we talk about Whiting's offense, I mean, their pitching has been just as dominant. You look at those scores; these aren't 17-12 games or 15-4. No, these are like 15-1, 11-4, 10-3. I mean, their pitching has been holding people way back, and they've been blowing people out of the water because of it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, just looking at it overall, they have great pitching staffs through and through. And we talked about their team stats too. And I mean, just to look at their team stats again, you want to look at the opposing this 371 batting average, 482 on base percentage as a team, pitching wise, holding opponents to a 185 batting average. So they're batting 371, getting on base 482, 48% of the time, getting on base by way of the bat 37% of the time, and they're holding opponents to a 185 batting average. That's a recipe for success, and that's exactly what you're seeing from Whiting.
That's what you call lighting the world on fire.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, 2.38 ERA as a team is definitely it's doing something too. And when you're scoring, what are they at? 103 runs in 9 games, so over 11 runs a game. If you're giving pitchers 11 runs of offense, I'm pretty sure they're saying thank you. We'll take the win then.
And they're still not like, I can relax a little bit. I can give up like 6. They're like, no, we're good. We'll hold them to 2.
Yeah. Well, you got to imagine, too, it does something confidence-wise for your pitcher, especially when you get those early runs. If you can go out there and put like a 4 spot up before your pitcher even has to step on for the first inning, or before they have to go up for the second, to know, all right, I already have a lead. I have some room for error. It lets them settle in and get a lot more comfortable on the mound, a lot easier.
Something else. They're on another level right now, and they're once again leading that Livy division with an 8-1 record, and the 1 loss was just the first game of the season. They've been on a tear ever since. They're scheduled to be back in action a week, not a week from Tuesday, but a week from last Tuesday, I guess you would say. And they are going to be playing on the 14th, and then they'll have games the rest of the summer to try to keep that momentum going.
And we still got to get into some other teams in the 16U division. You still got Avalanche and Creekside that are right there, too, that we're going to be excited to talk about, too. Some athletes in there.
Like, we can't leave out the Astro Falcons, who are still leading their division. So
no, absolutely.
They're going to be heard from, I promise you.
The thing, too, that's interesting because, 18U has all the teams in just one division. And I don't know how playoffs work and what they do for that, right? Because, for this, they have 2 divisions in 16U. They got Hernandez and they got Livy, where 18U, all the teams are just in one, I guess, conference, would you say, or division? I guess you would say, right? Because there's no separated divisions in 18U like there is in 16U. So it's interesting just looking at it, too, because 16U's organized a little bit different. And I kind of like having the 2 separate divisions, too, because it gives you cases like this, too, where, you never know who can get in, and you just got to give teams a chance, right?
Even if there wasn't separate divisions, Whiting would be rolling the world because they're 8-1, and the next team would be what's Creekside at?
Well, yeah, it would be the 3 teams in the Livy division that would be. That's the thing is like Astro would not be leading a division, but it's benefiting the Falcons right now, the Astro Falcons.
Astros they're playing in the NFC East right now.
Pretty much, it seems like, right? And they're leading it. Hey, that's the benefit sometimes of having multiple divisions, and I'm
You
cool
win
with
the games in front of you. That's all you can do, and you're winning your division, which means you'll be one of the top seeds in the bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's exactly what you want to be, right? Once you get into that, into those tourneys, you want to absolutely get into better seedings.
When you look at it, Ty, and we talked about this as well, Whiting, what's so impressive about what they're doing is it's come out of left field. It's I don't think people came into this season saying, maybe I'm wrong, but saying that Whiting was going to be the team that lights the world on fire in Class B 16U.
I mean,
they were good last year. They were competitive. They were competent. They weren't like, look around. What are we doing? This is amazing. Kind of setting the world on fire.
I wholeheartedly think it absolutely has to go into just the way that their offense is approaching at bats. And I go further into just the batting average. I think you look at the strikeout to walk ratio of this, and I think it goes a long way. When you talk guys like Nathan Craig, 17 at bats, right? But 8 walks, no strikeouts. That's huge. Like, guys, you go down the list too. We talked about Linedecker too. Only 1 strikeout on the season to 4 walks and 31 at bats too. Like, not a whole lot of strikeouts. And looking at overall too, let me just look at the team stat too of walks to strikeouts, because that's a number too I wanted to check out. 21 walks as a team to 50 strikeouts as a team too, which honestly, you look at that, not a terrible ratio when you look at strikeouts to walk ratio too. If you could keep it anywhere within in a ballpark range like that, that's not bad at all. And you look at the on base percentage as a team as well too. I mean, overall, it's 482. That's huge. That's huge.
Almost that's the whole team. Almost getting on base 50% of the time.
I was reading the wrong thing. I was looking at opponents. I was wrong. 48 walks to 30 strikeouts. That's the correct ratio. 48 walks as a team to 30 strikeouts. So they're walking more than they're striking out, is what I was referencing to. That's an impressive number too for Whiting.
You look at that team OBP with 48% if you round down. That means that, like, if you're pitching against this team, not just a couple of players, but this team, they're getting on almost half the time. I mean, like, how do you even try to pitch to that?
335 plate appearances as a team, and they've only struck out 30 times.
All right, so 335?
335 plate appearances as a team with only 30 team strikeouts for Whiting right now. That's got to be less than 10%.
That means 167 out of every 335 hitters, they're getting aboard.
That's huge. That's huge. And you're about to talk to one of the guys that's getting aboard a ton for this team right now. And Aiden Linedecker coming on to join us here from Whiting 16U. How we doing, Aiden?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
We aren't as good as you are at the plate. We'll just put it that way.
Let's jump right into that, man. You're batting .548, .611 on base percentage. You're lighting the world on fire over there in Scene Park. What's got you on to this hot start of the season down there?
Honestly, it's just, I think the players and the coaches, it's not a lot of pressure, which I like. So I feel like that's relieves some stress from me. So it's just get up there and have fun.
I mean, yeah, you said it. It's not just you. It's your teammates that are hitting so well. We went over all the team hitting stats. It's really remarkable what this offense has been able to do this season. How much does the hitting become contagious on this lineup?
It's very contagious. Once one of us gets rolling, we all get rolling, it seems like, for this team.
What was the talks then after this first loss? Because, like, you guys, if you have amps that go to 11, I think you guys have amps that go to 12 because you jacked them all the way up after your first loss of the season, scoring double-digit runs every game out. What is how fun is it to play for an offense that's scoring at will like that? But what was that kind of talk after that first loss that got you guys so motivated offensively?
After our first loss, it just didn't feel like we had the chemistry, and then after that, it just felt like we kept building the chemistry up. So it was just kept getting better out of that.
Playing in the summer and getting to play at Ysn Park, what's it mean to you, and how much do you love being a part of the Class B organization?
So far, I love being a part of the Class B organization. It's been very fun with the teammates and coaches I've had. It's been a very fun experience so far.
When you're up at the plate, the way that you've been this season too, just putting the ball in play too, not striking out a whole lot. What are the pitches that you're typically really looking for to drive in at bats too? Are you typically fastball hitter, or are you better handling the breaking stuff too when they try to slow it down on you?
I'm looking for a fastball almost every time I get up to the plate.
When and you get it and you do a lot with it, what about outside of baseball? What are some things that you do to kind of get your mind off of it and try to enjoy the summer? Because I'm sure it's a busy summer with all the baseball that you do get to play.
Whenever I'm not doing baseball, I'm trying to hang out with friends or just playing Xbox with friends or just not focusing on the stress of baseball.
What's the Xbox game that you're the best at?
Oh, probably Rainbow Six Siege right now.
Do you play the show? And if so, like, what's your go-to team and who's your favorite player to be on the show?
I actually do not play the show. I don't have the new one.
What's your go-to team in general then? Let's go with that too. Do you have a go-to team Major League that you
My go-to team, probably the Padres.
Player on that team that you try to emulate any of your play style off of, or is there a player in general that you've tried to emulate your play style off of?
I just like Tatis mainly, but there's not really anyone I try to imitate.
These teammates that you've talked about, there's such a phenomenal chemistry on Whiting. What's the one teammate on your team that can make you laugh no matter what the situation is?
Probably either Nick Parado or Corbin.
When you're looking at the teams that are around you though in this Livy division, I mean, you guys are having a great time, but you guys also have competition all around you. How much does that motivate you going out each and every game, knowing that you got to keep up with the pace of the teams that are around you in the division because they're winning as well?
It motivates us pretty good, I think.
What's your favorite thing about being a baseball player right now?
Probably just like the teammates and how much fun you can have whenever you're winning and doing good.
What's one of your favorite things about playing at Ysn Park? And I know Field 1 is always one of the favorite things to play on, but what's so special about playing on Field 1 at Ysn Park?
Just like the fans and how nice the field is and how awesome it is just to play there with your friends and teammates.
Give us an insight on what kind of fan support Whiting Roll-Offs gets and how crazy that crowd can get for you guys.
Whenever we're doing good, the fans can get pretty crazy. We have friends, family, everyone that shows up there, so it's pretty nice having all that.
Biggest hit in your baseball career that sent fans into a frenzy?
Oh, probably my baseball career. Probably back in 6th grade, whenever we won to go to the World Series in California. I had a triple to start winning the game so that we could go to California.
Is that your proudest baseball accomplishment?
Probably, yep.
In your entire career with baseball too, and you've had a long career too, dating back all the way then. What's some of the best advice you've gotten from some of your coaches along the way that you take with you, maybe every at bat or maybe throughout life?
Probably just have fun. Don't let the pressure get to you and just enjoy what you're doing.
Now that you're in a position where you're able to give advice and you're able to inspire people, what kind of advice do you give to people when they come and ask you, like, what should I do in this situation, or how can I make these adjustments or whatever it may be?
I tell them just to have fun and not let the pressure get to them and just do what they know how to do.
In your baseball career too, what is the biggest moment where you, or I guess a big setback or a loss where you had to, I guess, really look at yourself, readjust, and come back stronger the next one?
Probably last year, whenever I fractured my hip and I had to miss the whole season, I had to battle back from that and try to come back and not lose anything from that injury.
What was the biggest mental struggle with that? You know, coming back from an injury, we've talked to a lot of athletes that have done it, and they say the mental grind is almost just as big as the physical grind getting back. So, what was the biggest mental hurdle in trying to get back from that injury?
My biggest mental hurdle was like trusting myself to get better and trusting my hip, especially to not have the same thing happen. So just having confidence and trust in myself.
Going full circle now, I mean, the trust has to be through the roof right now. What's the feeling too after having that injury just a year ago to come back, have the season, put the season together that you are too? I mean, you're tearing it up at the plate, man.
I'm proud of myself for coming back. I've been having a lot of hitting lessons and hitting off the tee and working hard to not have my hip bother me anymore and have trust in myself.
All right, so this season in baseball, when you go from high school to now Class B, what's been the biggest thing that you think you've improved on from when you started the season to where you're at now?
Probably my mental approach at the plate, just not watching strikes, trying to not miss any opportunities that I have.
How hard did you work on that, and who were some of the coaches that helped you build that mental focus at the plate?
I've been working hard on that. Some of the coaches that have helped me with that is my hitting coach at Fennel, Ryan Cox. He's helped me a ton. I've been having hitting lessons with him for probably over a year now, before I fractured my hip and after. And I go to him every time I think I need help from him or anything like that.
With the success that you've had at the plate too, and battling back through all the adversity that you've had too, let's just talk about the rain this season that you've had to battle through. How happy are you to just finally get into summer and hopefully, right, start dodging some rain and just getting out there to play some baseball in some better weather?
Yeah, it's been a lot of bad weather recently. I'm just excited. I think that the weather will start getting better so we can play more games this season.
When you look at it now, you'll be going into next year, and you're going to be asked to take upon a bigger leadership role as you venture into your next stages in your career. Who are some leaders that really taught you how to lead, and you think you're going to lean on when you kind of become a leader yourself?
Probably just any of the coaches or people that are older than me in school ball or in my SV team or in the Whiting team. Anyone that's older than me or been here longer, I pay attention to them and see how they do things to see how things, flow and stuff like that happens.
How are you going to continue to build on the success you've already started on this season?
I just want to keep my mental approach the same and keep having trust in myself and not change very much of anything that I'm doing right now just to keep it rolling.
All right, you guys have gotten a lot of wins this summer, so I'm going to ask, what's the best thing to do after a big win with the team?
Probably go out to eat with them or just have a good time after and celebrate.
Is there
the win.
a favorite restaurant for Whiting baseball?
Probably C's Pancake or C's Waffle House. We went there last weekend.
So I'm guessing you're a fan of breakfast foods. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Probably home fries. Definitely home fries.
What's the go-to dugout snack and drink combo?
My go-to dugout drink is definitely a Body Armor. Snack, it's got to be sunflower seeds.
One, I'm going to ask what flavor sunflower seeds, and then what flavor Body Armor.
I like blackout berry Body Armor and sunflower seeds. I'm not too picky about them, but probably barbecue. It's probably would be my number one.
If Body Armor came to you and said, "We want you to create a flavor," what flavor do you think you'd want to see out of a Body Armor?
Probably like a pineapple mango. I don't know if they even have one like that, but I like pineapple a lot. So probably someone with that.
When you look at some of the things that you like to do with outside of sports, what are some things that you do? Hobbies, I guess you would say.
I like playing Xbox, like I said. I like hanging out with friends, just driving around. There's not much rather I do rather than that. Baseball, friends, Xbox. That's basically it right now.
When you think about all the things that you've been through, who's one person that kind of inspired you and gave you a lot of support?
Probably my parents. They've given me a lot of support to never give up with, my hip, battling through that, missing, the whole season last year and not being able to do very much. Can't walk. Probably my parents, I would have to say.
And you said you like to drive around, so I think it goes right into this question. If you could afford any car, what car would you want to buy?
Ooh, probably, I don't even know. I would say probably like a Corvette or something sick like that.
What is one thing that you spend a lot of money on that you probably shouldn't?
Xbox, definitely. Spend way
What
too
was
much
your
money on
last
that.
what was your last impulse buy?
I bought a new game, NHL, last night.
Right off the frying pan. So NHL, what's the favorite team to play as?
Penguins. Gotta be Penguins. You gotta support your home team.
Right. You watching the Stanley Cup Finals?
I did not watch much of that this year, actually. I did not.
When you look at it, what sport outside of baseball would you like to try playing?
Probably volleyball. Volleyball is really fun. I've had a lot of fun playing that with friends whenever I have. So probably volleyball.
It's perfect timing. I think that WHSA just approved men's volleyball as a sanctioned sport. Would you be on a men's volleyball team?
I would, yeah, but I think volleyball's in baseball season. So if it wasn't a baseball season, I would definitely try out for volleyball.
What is one Olympic sport that you watch, outside of, the normal ones that you go, man, I wish I could do that, like skateboarding, snowboarding, stuff like that?
Probably skiing because they fly down the hills and it's just ridiculous some of the stuff they do. So skiing probably.
Uh, when you guys have family game nights, who wins most of the time?
Me or my dad, usually. Not my
Do you guys
sister or
have
my mom.
a family game that you go to?
Sorry. Probably sorry.
And now that you're venturing into your future, what are some of your future endeavors and plans and things that you might want to study in and go into a career in?
I have no clue what I would want to study in college, but something like a doctor or a physical therapist would be a good career, I think, right now. It's the only ideas that I have.
What about when you were young? What was one thing that childhood Aiden wanted to be when he grew up?
A Major League Baseball player or just a Major League Football player or anything like that. Anything
Keep
with
that
sports.
dream alive, man. Keep it alive. The way you're hitting, I'm sure it is a possibility.
Thank you.
So I want to end this by saying you can give a shout out to your support system, the people that have always been there for you, and anyone that you want to give a thanks and a shout out to.
I want to give a shout out to my coaches at Seneca, Greg Parado, Del Duca, my parents, my coaches right now, Coach Jason, Coach Chad, and all my friends that I've been playing baseball with, Nick Parado, Mike Del Duca, Matt Del Duca, Luke Anderton, all those people at Seneca Valley I've been playing baseball with for 8+ years.
All right, Aiden, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. You've off to a great start. We're sure it will continue. We look forward to seeing what you do for Whiting the rest of the summer, and we look forward to also talking to you again real soon.
Thank you for having me on the show today.
Aiden Leindecker from Whiting's 16U, running roll-off to be specific. And what a bat we've talked about. He's lighting the world on fire, and we're so proud to get to have him on and highlight his journey a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, he's off to a great season too. So is all of Whiting's too. I mean, and you're gonna get to talk to we're gonna get to talk to the guy that's overseeing the bomb squad and the bat squad, I guess, too, for the last 8 games too, 10+ runs a game. It's Coach Jason Bumbliss of the Whiting Roll-Offs. And Coach, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing today?
I mean, we're doing good, but not as good as your guys are doing too. I mean, let's talk about the talks that you had with this team after that first loss of the season, and what cranked the amps up to 11 for this team on the offensive side of things that got them so clicking 10 runs plus every single game since.
Well, I wish I had an answer for you. I wasn't at the first game. It's the only game I missed. So, I don't really know what happened there. They said that we just didn't hit the ball well, but, I was there the next day, and it's just been the same approach every game since. Go up there, have good at bats, swing at good pitches, be aggressive on the bases. And, we know we got the bats that if we have the right approach, the results will take care of themselves.
You gotta feel like you bring the good mojo to the team then, right? I mean, if the only game you weren't at and it ended in a loss, there's got to be a mojo, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not making any assessments. It's just the facts are the facts. When I'm out there, we score double digits. So,
do you let your assistant coaches know that?
Probably a time or two. Yes, them probably a few too many times, but
I want to talk more about this offense. And I mean, we went over the numbers before you came on. I mean, it's been lighting the world on Storm, and it's not just one player. It's the whole lineup 1 through 9 that is really getting hits. Your team batting average is over 350. What has been working so well for this team and this lineup that has been really hitting the ball so well?
Well, right now, the simple answer to that is everything. Obviously, we're not going to be able to sustain that over the course of 22 games in playoffs, but everything's going our way right now. We're seeing good pitches. We're not missing them. When guys hit them, they're hitting them in gaps. So right now, everything's going right. We like to think that our approach has a lot to do with that. We got kids that are really taking pitches. We're a hard lineup to pitch against because we're not up there guessing. We're not up there chasing. 1 through 9, 1 through 10, everybody that we put out there is going to give a good quality at bat. And eventually that wears teams down, and it has so far. But, we're not going to score double digits every game. It's our goal, but it's more of a shoot for the stars, land on the moon type thing. And so far it's working. But as long as we keep going up there with the same approach, we think we have a good enough lineup to continue to have success.
Is there added motivation for the team seeing that Creekside Avalanche right there too in the standings? And I mean, everyone in this kind of division is playing some really good baseball right now.
Yeah, we're aware of the standings and of, we know there's some good teams, Avalanche, Creekside, and we know there's some teams too. And I've made sure our guys know that some of these teams aren't quite whole yet. They're missing kids from various, Pennsylvania or Ohio playoffs. So we're not naive to think that, we're going to go 21-0 the rest of the way and blow everybody out by double digits. I mean, that would be great. We'd sign up for it. But we're aware that there's a lot of good teams in this league and a lot of them in our division. But, we also have confidence that if we show up and we do things the way we know we can do them, that we can beat anybody at any time in this league.
What happens with great offenses is usually their pitching gets overshadowed and people don't talk about their pitching as much. You guys are pitching really well too. These are not games that you're winning 15-13. These are games that you're keeping opponents down while your offense is doing what they're doing. What have you seen from your pitching staff this season, and how much have they taken the pressure off your offense?
We talk about every game at the end of the game. If we can start it by talking about our pitching in a positive way, then we know we probably won the game. And maybe the best throwing game we had all year was the first game that we lost. Nathan Craig, I think he struck out 11 that game through a gem. But we just didn't support him offensively. But our pitching, our guys, they go out, they throw strikes. Our team's built around defense. And we feel we have the best defense in the league. And when you're a pitcher and you know that you can just attack the strike zone confidently and know that your defense is going to make you look good and your offense is going to put up enough runs, that's a great feeling when you're out there on the mound with confidence. You don't feel you got to do everything yourself. And our pitchers are really taking advantage of that.
Going a little bit more in depth, what would you describe the personality of this team as?
It's a great group of kids. Probably half of these kids have played together for me since they were 7 or 8. And the other half are kids that have come and gone throughout the years and some new additions. But we don't really have any prima donna personalities. We don't have anybody that's not bought in. This group is really here to compete. Their goal is to win the league, and they want to do that every game. They want to show that, and they're all rowing in the same direction. It's a good group of kids that they have fun. They'll joke around a little bit, but when the lights go on, they're competitors. They're there to beat you, and they're there to beat you as bad as you'll let them beat you. So it's a really, really fun group to coach.
We know that coaching in the summer and for travel or Class B or whatever, it's different than coaching in high school, and it's about molding the kids and trying to structure them and make the little fine details work right, because everyone's there for the same goal. They want to move to the next level of baseball. What kind of mindset do you take into coaching in the summer, and how do you think it's a little bit different than maybe a coach that would be coaching in high school?
There's a lot of similarities, but there are some differences. Like this team, like our first game, we didn't have any practices before our first game. Some of these kids were meeting each other on the first day, right? So there's differences in there that we don't have the practice opportunities of a high school team, and even some of your travel teams. All we do is play games together. So for me as a coach, the biggest thing, it's less about instruction and developing kids on their own instructionally. It's more about getting out there, reinforcing the mindset that you have to have as a competitor, whether you want to play high school baseball or college baseball, or if you want to play college football or any other sport. The thing that's consistent across them all is when it's time to play, you got to be ready to play. You got to be ready to compete. You got to learn from your mistakes and move on. So we really just focus on things like that are translatable across all the aspects of their life, to be honest with you.
Do you think the competition that's also presented at Scene Park helps in the development of having that competitive mindset once they go back to their high schools?
Yeah, certainly. Scene is such a great experience for these kids and as our coaches as well. Every night you're going to see some quality baseball, and you're going to play it at great facilities. So yeah, it's just a great experience, and our group loves it. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know that we have a blast. So,
What's your favorite thing about playing at Scene Park?
The cheeseburgers.
What's the go-to then? Do you do the works with it then? How do you dress it?
It's funny. We got a lot of parents that love the cheeseburgers, which is why I said that, and I'm included in that. And good to be able to meal with 45 minutes. A lot of our rural Pennsylvania kids on our team, so it's nice that there's a good concession stand, and you can get some good food, and so I say that part a little bit jokingly, but my favorite part personally about coaching at Scene is that I don't have to get the field ready. I don't have to pay the umps. I don't have to schedule the umps. I just show up and coach my team. So I love that.
That being said, what can you say about the field crew and the administration at Scene Park that you've been able to be, such close relations with, and what they've been able to do to not just help you and your team, but this whole Class B organization?
Oh, it's excellent. From the moment that we got involved in it a couple of years ago at 14U, I sing the praises to anybody that'll listen. The quality of baseball is good, and on some nights it can be great depending, on the groups that are playing. But the facilities, the way it's run, you know that the games are going to be scheduled. There's going to be umpires there. The field's going to be taken care of. They're going to do a good job canceling games if they need to. It's just very well run. There's a lot of the guys, and I don't know all the guys that do it, but the Ken Quinns, the Tim Joyce, the Scott Works, all those people that toil behind the scenes, they don't get any credit, and they deserve a ton. There's a lot that goes into this. All the people that are working at the press boxes and keeping score for the games, it's just like anything, the people that are doing a lot of the work kind of toil in obscurity, but we appreciate them. They probably don't hear that enough, but it does go appreciated.
We talked about this team. We got a chance to meet some players. We're going to meet some more, but how cool is it to have Dom on this team too, to be able to coach him?
Yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? It's having Dom and there's a few other kids, like I said, that I've coached since they were 7. They've been together, and they all go to different schools and do their own things. But it's a blast getting to coach a lot of these kids that you really watched them grow up, and you've watched their bodies change and them grow up and them turn into men. And that's what we're here for. It's just so exciting. I love this whole group and the parents. We're very lucky. A lot of it's luck. Some of it, I guess, was on purpose. But we're really lucky to have such a good group of parents and kids that make the summer so fun out there at Scene.
I want to talk about those parents real quick, because what we see with, whether it be travel, Class B, whatever it may be, uh, all these different families from different high schools and different walks of life kind of come together for a summer and end up being kind of a family that you're stuck with, because you could be at the field for a while for travel. You could be going to trips for a while. What can you say about the family atmosphere of this team? Not just the players in your dugout, but also the parents that come and support you guys.
Well, like I said, some of these parents, we've spent weekends for the last 10 years, traveling in tournaments and, just become close friends. Several of these families I vacation with every summer, you know what I mean? Get ready to go away in a month with a couple of these parents. So that's stuff that not everybody gets. I'm very fortunate for that. But, our kids are lucky that we have very supportive parents. We always have good crowds at the game. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. We don't have any kids that, don't have people coming to support them. It's just, we've built this roster over time, but we're really fortunate right now that in addition to having great baseball players, and I have a lot of great help on my coaching staff, we got parents that anything these kids need, they're there. And I don't have to worry from a coaching perspective. Is so-and-so doing what needs to be done to be ready to pitch next week? Is this kid going to have a ride to the game? Is this kid getting food when he gets home? We're really privileged in that respect that all our kids, I know they're all well taken care of. So.
You talked about your coaching experience too, and you stuck around for it too. I'm curious what keeps bringing you back to be a coach, and who served as a big role model, influence, impact to you in becoming a coach in your journey.
What keeps me coming back is the players and the families. Scene's been a great experience for us. Chad Thomas is a guy that him and I have coached together baseball now. I think this is our 10th year, maybe, since these boys were like 7. So, it seems like it's been 20 years, but, we just have so much fun and, getting to see these kids grow as a coach. When you first start out as a coach, you're really in it for the competitiveness and a lot of times, but as you grow older and you start to see the bigger picture, you realize that, the kids are giving more to you than you're giving to them. Really getting to watch the kids grow up and hope that you're doing something to help them improve as an adult. And in this case, with the boys, helping them become men. That's what's really exciting. And when you see the kids do the stuff that you've preached, it's icing on the cake.
So before we let you go, if you have any new fans that want to see this team live, or maybe people that are interested in watching you guys, give a shout out to when your next game is and how they can come see you play.
So our next game is big game Tuesday. We're on Scene 1 on the main field against the Athletics team that, they're in the other division. They're right around 500. They got, one really good pitcher and a lot of other good pitchers. So they're a good team, and it's going to be a big game for them. So it should be a big game for us. We'll be have Nathan Craig, I know, who's coming on your show next. He'll be on the mound Tuesday. So he's a kid that, he's an example of a kid that's so much fun to coach that, if you go and you see a kid like Nathan in a showcase or something, he's not going to jump off the charts. He's not a big kid. He's not a specimen. He's not 6'2" or anything like that. But you watch him go out there and his ball moves. He throws strikes. He works fast, and teams just struggle to hit him. And he's getting the job done at the plate. He's one of the smartest kids I know. So. We have a lot of kids like that, and it's a fun group to watch. If you like watching good, fun baseball, I would say, we're the team to watch out there. The way we play the game is fun to watch.
Coach, thank you so much for the time and the ability to come on and talk with us. We congratulate you on such a strong start. We wish you the best of luck all summer. You can always find Wine and Games on ysnlive.com as they continue their Class B schedule throughout the summer. Once again, we appreciate the time, and we look forward to talking again real soon.
Hey, we appreciate you having us, and thanks for all you guys do to promote the sport and promote Scene.
All right, that was Coach Bumbless, sorry, of Whiting Roll-Offs. And now we're going to be continuing our tour of that team as we bring on Nathan Craig, one of the pitching extraordinaires, but also can do it with the bat. We know that. We were going over his stats, and he's a pitcher that can rake. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Anthony brought it up, a pitcher that can rake, man. How are you able to balance this out? You're having such a great season. The whole team really is, though. But, I mean, you're having a great season both hitting and pitching. What's been up to the great start?
I don't know, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, on the off season, I'm always practicing and doing bands and stuff to increase my velocity and try to get better in any way I can. I don't know, just a lot of practice and kind of getting lucky a little bit too.
The coach said it. You're not a guy that kind of, would pop out on a just based on your physical stature, but does that kind of motivate you more to kind of be like, I'm going to show you what I can do, and you don't, not based on what you see from me, but based on my movement and my ball and the velocity I can throw with?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, I'm pretty small. I'm 5'9". I'm not huge. I'm very average sized. But I just love it. Like when I get out there, I don't throw very hard and I don't hit the ball super far, but I always hit line drives and I try to locate well, and I'm lefty too, which helps a lot. So like my fastball will move, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fun.
8 walks, no strikeouts, 692 on base percentage. I mean, let's look at these numbers and dive a little bit deeper. Do you take it as like a personal battle with a pitcher every time you step to a plate, saying like, you're not going to strike me out, and having that mindset through all the at-bats you've had early on in the season?
Yeah, definitely. One of my goals is not to strike out. I don't like striking out, and my dad especially doesn't like it either. He hates looking strikeouts because he says that I need to hit the ball every time.
That has to come with a really good 2-strike approach. How have you developed that, and who are some of the coaches that have really helped you get good at fighting off pitches with 2 strikes?
Well, I take lessons from Ryan Fennell at Fennell Brothers Baseball, and he actually helps me a lot with my swing and my mechanics. And when I have 2 strikes, I really try to shorten up and just put the ball in play any way I can.
I mean, looking at this team as a whole, too, how fun has it been these last few games? You guys have put in 10-plus runs. I know Coach says that's kind of the shoot for the stars, land on the moon type goal, right? But, I mean, you guys are nailing it every single game. How much fun is it to be able to put up this kind of offense, too? And on the flip side, too, a 2-part question, I guess, how much fun is it also for you being a pitcher, seeing you guys get that much offense, too, on the mound?
Yeah, it is awesome. And it also provides a good cushion whenever I'm pitching, because it's kind of nerve-wracking whenever you're pitching. You have to give up like 0 runs or else like you'll lose. But with like a cushion of like 10 runs or whatever you have, it's a lot more fun to pitch. And I think it's just awesome to see our team score 10-plus runs every game. Like the kids are awesome and everyone works together and gets along. And I think once one person like starts to get a hit and we get we get on fire, and then everyone starts getting hits, and it's just a lot of fun to watch and be around.
I mean, with the offense doing what they're doing, how does this bullpen not take a little break, a mental break, and be like, well, they're scoring 10 runs. We don't have to go out there and hold them to 2 anymore. I mean, you still have that drive and that fire to hold offenses down, even though your offense is giving you 10 runs every night. Talk about this pitching room and what drives them so much to keep that competitive edge, even though their offense is giving them runs.
Well, you got to keep that mindset that it's like a 1-run game or whatever, because the minute you get like relaxed and confident on the mound, if something goes wrong, the other team can string a few hits together and then it's like they're back in the game. You just got to keep dealing.
What do you guys do to try to build chemistry in kind of a quick makeshift fashion? Because I know Coach said some of you guys are meeting each other first day too, sometimes of seasons too. So when you guys have to get back together, how do you kind of formulate that chemistry on the fly so quickly?
Well, everyone on the team is super friendly and everyone gets along with each other, so that helps a bunch too. It's a lot more fun and it's a lot easier to do well whenever you're friends with everyone on the team and everyone is like a great kid.
What teammate have you gotten to know the most throughout the first couple of weeks of this Class B season?
That's hard because, I mean, I like everyone a lot and everyone's super friendly and nice to me, but I got to say Corbin Sevick and Nick Parado are my favorites. Or not my favorites, but I guess we've gotten to know them the most. Corbin's super fun to be around, and he's crazy, and it's awesome to be around him.
Parado threw a no-hitter. Is that kind of a competition to try to one-up him in this season?
Not really. I mean, I love Nick, so I can't really try to one up him. But I definitely would like to.
I've asked though. I asked Aiden when he was on the show earlier, and since you're a dual threat, you're a pitcher that can rake, as Anthony said too. I got to ask you too. What is the best accomplishment on the mound that you've had in your baseball career, and the biggest hit that you've had that sent the fans into a frenzy?
So my best pitching career was when I was 14, and we played BV Red in a tournament in Butler. I think that was my favorite pitching performance because we went in as like massive underdogs, and I pitched, and I think I threw 5 innings and gave up like 2 earned runs, and it was my favorite pitching performance because BV Red came in thinking they were gonna like crush the ball, and they didn't really against me. So that has to be my favorite pitching memory. My favorite hitting memory. Let me think. My favorite hitting memory was actually a while ago. It was whenever I think we were 10, and I was struggling a lot at the plate at that time. And we were playing some team that was a lot better than us. And I was like 0 for 3 at the game at the point, and it was the last inning, and I actually hit a double to walk it off. So that had to be my favorite hitting memory.
So that brings us to the next question. What's a better feeling for you, getting a big strikeout in a big moment or that big hit that you described?
I'd say getting a strikeout. I like pitching more than I like hitting, honestly. It's just I feel more relaxed and more confident when I'm up there pitching rather than hitting.
What can you say about the competition level that you've gotten to face at Bobstein Park this year as a pitcher?
I think the competition has been pretty good. I know that more players are now coming in after like school ball and states and stuff, so I think it'll get better, but I've been pretty happy with the competition so far.
And now that you kind of know that some of these teams are going to start to become full and their rosters are going to get a little bit better, how important do you think it was to have that strong start?
I think it's very important as a team to have that strong start because we're like leading the league right now, which I think is a good way to like keep that momentum, and we can keep going and maybe even win the league.
I know between games or something you've had time to check out that concession stand at Scene. What's your favorite thing to get at the concession stand?
I just like the cheeseburger.
That's it. I mean, that's what Coach said too, right? That's the go-to.
Cheeseburgers are awesome.
Looking at the standings too, I know like in the high school world, it's a big no-no. You don't worry about where you are too. The coaches don't worry about the next one, but this is summer ball. You guys are looking at standings. You guys are looking at wins, and this is a very competitive division that you guys are in. Does that motivate you, whether that be on pitching performances or in the box too, just going into the next game, knowing that this is such a close division race, and you have Creekside, you have Avalanche that are right there too, keeping up with you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely motivating. Like whenever, like what our coach says, every time you go out there, it starts at 0-0. Just because you won the last game doesn't mean that you start the next game with an advantage. Every team wants to win the same amount each game, so you have to play just as hard every game.
You know, your age group is right on that cusp where they're about to become leaders on their teams when they go back into high school. How would you describe your leadership qualities, and who are some people in your baseball journey that have really taught you how to lead teams?
I'd say I'm a pretty good leader. Some people who have helped coach me a lot are, I'd say Ryan Fennell, again, my hitting coach. He's great. I love him, and he's helped me a ton with baseball and leadership in general.
We've been asking this theme, and it's been a theme for all baseball, softball players, but what's the go-to dugout snack and sports drink combination for Nathan Craig?
Oh, I got to go sweet and spicy sunflower seeds, and purple Gatorade is my favorite, I'd say.
I get down with those seeds, and I could get down with purple Gatorade as well. What was that?
It got to be intimidating if you show your teeth to a batter and it's all purple in there, and the batter's like, "What the heck's going on? I don't want any part of that." If Gatorade came to you and said they want to make a new flavor and they want you to kind of be in control of it, what flavor of Gatorade would you like to see?
I don't know, probably cherry or something like that. I like cherry a lot, and they don't have a cherry flavored Gatorade, which is kind of sad.
That would be a smart move by. I would want like a Jolly Rancher type cherry though. Like
yeah, like
Jolly
the sweet
Rancher.
kind.
Give me like a sweet slash kind of tart like type cherry. I'm cool with that for sure. No, look at that though. What's the sunflower seed? What's the sunflower seed flavor that you would make then for the combination too?
I'm not really sure. They have a ton of sunflower seeds, so I don't really think they need to add another one. Maybe just I could like support the current sunflower seed.
You're gonna throw Nathan Craig's promotion on the spicy too. He comes at you sweet with a sweet smile too, but he's got a spicy bad lighting the world on fire both ends.
Yeah.
What about desserts? What are some of your go-to sweet tooth desserts?
I like Jello a lot. Is Jello.
What flavor?
Cherry and just like any fruit kind, really. My favorite.
What on this team too for your career too? What is served as one of your biggest inspirational moments for, like, I guess a moment where you were down in a game or you had a moment where you had to come back and come back stronger? What was a moment where you had to come back in this game?
So it was a few years ago. So actually before this Whiting team we had, when we were like below 14U, a lot of the same players were on a team called Beaver Valley Lightning. I think like 6 of the players or whatever. And we were playing this team called West Hills, and we were actually down by 7 in the last inning. And like the other team came out confident and stuff, and we actually came back and won, which I'd say has to be the most like inspirational moment in our baseball careers.
What about personal adversity? Have you ever had a moment in your career where you've had to deal with some, maybe it's just as simple as a slump at the plate or a couple of starts that didn't go your way, or it could be an injury, whatever it may be. Have there been any moments of personal adversity that you've had to deal with? And if so, how have you gotten through them?
Yeah, definitely. So my 14U year, I started off really slow in the year because whenever I'd swing, I'd like drop my hands and then I'd just like fly up with my shoulder and I'd hit a ground ball to either first or second base literally every time I was up. So it took a lot of time and effort to change that and keep my hands up. And then after that, I had one of my best years hitting that year.
What is some advice you would offer younger players that want to continue being an effective pitcher and effective in the batter's box and put up the numbers that you put up?
I'd say just work hard and just keep working towards it. Sometimes you'll work hard and there won't be results, and you have to keep working and keep trying harder. And eventually, it'll all work out.
Who's your favorite professional athlete?
My favorite professional athlete. I'm not really sure. Let me think about that.
What about team? Do you have a favorite team?
Yeah, I like the Cubs.
All right. Wrigley Field. If you had a chance to play at Wrigley Field, what would that mean to you?
That'd be like a dream.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems so unreasonable, but I might be able to. Who knows?
What about fields you've played on? What's been the best baseball field you've been able to play on in your baseball career?
I got to play at Pullman Park in Butler once, which was pretty awesome. It's like a big stadium.
What is your favorite memory of watching a baseball game? Like, what is the best game you've ever watched, either in person or just on TV?
Watching the World Series where the Cubs won was my favorite
There you
baseball game to
go.
watch.
That's an easy answer right there. What about memories of baseball as a kid that made you fall in love with the game?
So when I was 9, it was actually the championship for like our in-house game, and the team we were playing was the best team in the league, and it was like literally my best hitting day ever. I went 3 for 3 with 2 triples and a home run, and it was pretty much like all my RBIs were the runs, and we ended up winning the game.
If you weren't playing baseball, what sport would you want to try?
Well, I actually do tennis as well. I do tennis for the school instead of baseball, so I'd say tennis.
Well, let's talk about tennis. What is it? What do you like so much about tennis?
I don't know. I just started it this year actually, and I'm just naturally athletic, and it's just a sport that's fun to play and it's fun to mess around in.
How much did you have to kind of adjust the tennis swing compared to your baseball swing?
Mm, not really. I mean, it's very similar mechanics. So playing baseball definitely did help with tennis.
What was the hardest thing to kind of grasp when you were learning how to play tennis?
Mm, well, in tennis, whenever you swing the racket, you don't like follow through as much as you do in baseball. So it's a little bit different, which was hard to adjust to.
Did your baseball background make it easy to read the balls off the racket?
Yeah, definitely. My hand-eye coordination and just like my natural abilities after baseball definitely helped with tennis a lot.
What do you think the hardest serve that you've ever kind of returned is?
I'm not really sure.
I mean, what's harder, like a crazy serve trying to hit it, or a fastball?
Baseball is definitely harder to play. I faced a lot better competition in baseball as well because I just started tennis this year.
When you look at some of the things you do outside of baseball as hobbies, what are some things you like to do?
Well, I actually enjoy school a lot, like schoolwork. Um, I'm not really sure. I like to lift weights as well, but that's just for baseball conditioning, really.
What's your favorite subject that you like studying?
I like math a lot.
Do you have kind of a career path that math wants to take you to?
Yeah, definitely. I'm rather look at colleges for academics over baseball because of my math, like my mathematics skills and stuff.
Well, with all that math, I got to ask, you want to be an engineer? Is that what we're looking at?
No,
No.
my dad's an engineer. I don't really want to do that. I think I
Okay, I like that. I don't want to do.
I'd probably do something with either computer science or statistics.
Who have been some of your influencers and people that you've really looked up to, role models, I guess I would say, in your journey?
In my journey, like for just in general or for
Yeah,
what?
in general.
Definitely my dad. My dad has helped me like my entire life with baseball and schoolwork and everything. So he's definitely one of my like role models and inspirations.
Does your dad have a big baseball background, or did he kind of get into the
No,
sport
he
when you
doesn't.
did?
He got into it when I got into it.
So what has it been like kind of having this journey along with him and having him learn the sport as you have and kind of riding along with him for this baseball career?
I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's like a great bonding experience, and it's like great to spend time with my dad when we go to the field together and we hit in the cage or whatever or play catch. He's helped a ton with baseball and just like learned it on his own pretty much. It's pretty cool.
How good of a coach do you think your dad would make?
Probably not because he'd probably yell at everyone a lot. He likes to yell at me a lot.
What about like you? If would you make a good coach, do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd probably make a pretty good coach. I mean, I know a lot of the fundamentals and mechanics of baseball, so I think I'd be pretty good at coaching.
Do you think we could ever see coaching in your future?
Oh, Coach Nate, I'm not sure. Maybe.
What would Coach Nate now, if you were coaching right now, what would he tell maybe 10 or 10 or 12-year-old Nate about the game and things that you would want to learn a lot earlier in life?
Just stick with it. There's a lot of times I got really frustrated whenever I was playing, whenever I'd be like in a slump or something, but I just got to stick with it and just keep trying and working hard outside of the game. And then it improved my in-game skills.
If we were going to give you a time machine, would you want to go back in time or forward in time?
Definitely back in time.
What era would you want to go back to?
10 years ago.
Is there like, that was a pretty quick answer. Is there something that you want to like see 10 years ago? Is there something you want to change?
No, I'd probably just like invest in Bitcoin a lot so I can make
I love it.
Get that money. Get that money.
I feel like you'd be the person that goes into the future and gets the sports book like Biff does in Back to the Future. Makes
that might be me. That might be me.
2016 World Series 3 years before the fact. Nobody will see it coming.
Yeah, that'd definitely be something that I would do.
What's one of your favorite shows to stream on a streaming service?
I don't really watch shows that much. I don't really have time for it.
What about entertainment though? Like things that you do, maybe it's music, maybe it's reading, maybe it's arts and crafts. I don't know what your thing is. What kind of things do you do to entertain yourself?
I'm not really sure. I like drawing, I guess.
What's your personal playlist look like before a game?
I don't really listen to music before games. I just get in there.
All right, okay, how do you get in that mindset then? I mean, I know a lot of people listen to music to get hyped up, but like, what do you do to get yourself in this competitive mindset and get yourself hyped up for the game?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm always competitive, so I guess there really isn't anything like I need to like get myself ready or in a competitive
I love it.
spirit.
He's always ready. That's one of the reasons why he throws so hard and hits so hard. He's always ready. Nathan, before we let you go, we want to give you the chance to shout out your support system and the people that are always there for you.
I'd like to say thank you to, like, I guess, my parents a lot for always getting me to games and helping me, and just my teammates and my coach, Coach Bumless, who was on the show before me, I think, for just helping me a lot and just helping me my journey at baseball.
We want to thank you for your time and joining us on the show today. We love talking to you. Good luck the rest of the summer in Class B action, and we hope that we get to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me as well.
Nathan Craig of the Whiting Roll-Off 16U team that is currently leading their division in Class B baseball with a record of 8-1. They're on a heck of a start, and he is a big reason why, not just at the plate, but also with his arm on the mound.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's no doubt been huge for Whiting in both pitching and hitting wise. So no doubt the roll-offs have been up to quite a start and looking to continue it too. They got a little bit of time until the next game though.
It was a Whiting day, and it was a fun one. We're going to take our last break of the day. And when we come back, we'll wrap up Running Point. We'll give you a preview of what's on the docket tonight on YSN and a lot more next on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
We are Kent State in the Valley. Start and finish one of more than 25 bachelor's or associate degree programs, or start one of Kent State's 280 majors. With low tuition, public, and plenty of scholarship opportunities, we will help you maximize your education and minimize student debt. Enjoy the benefits of a smaller campus with all the opportunities of a large university. Save money, stay close to home. Apply today by visiting kent.edu/Trumbull.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience, WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSwealth.com. Good luck, athletes!
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell as we venture into the final moments of this show. We want to remind you that there are games on the network tonight. First, some football to get you appetizers ready for fall, as the Jack Arvin Classic will be on YSNLive.com. TJ Oakley will have the call. 7 o'clock kickoff for that game. So if you're itching for football, you want to get a little bit of a fix, make sure to check out that All-Star game at 7 o'clock with DJ.
Should be fun, and I'm sure DJ is going to have a great time, but I mean, that's only going to bring it more in the back of his head about the looming football season that's coming up. It's going to be brought to the forefront of his mind going to that game tonight.
He's going to be on the call with Todd Thorne and Coach Hake. So it's going to be a really entertaining broadcast. I'll tell you that.
Him and Hake, those interviews last season too. If you haven't gotten a chance to see them, those were great too. Anytime DJ and Coach Hake got together, but those two on the broadcast are going to be great too.
Class B baseball, it's seen taking the night off. There is one Class B game. It won't be on the network, but it is happening in Sharpsville at 5:30. So the other baseball that we have on the network, BCB, we have our debut at the Challenger League down there in the Field of Dreams. Noah Doty going to be doing that game at 6. And then at 7:30, he'll be doing a boys JV game on L1. So Noah Doty will be on the Field of Dreams for 2 baseball games. And we also have the Jack Arvin Classic for your football fix at 7 o'clock. That's what's on the network tonight.
Should be a fun one on the network too, as we got football, we got baseball, a little bit of sampling of everything for you tonight on the network.
Class B makes its return tomorrow as well as the Scrapper, so we'll have a full slate of games on tomorrow as well.
Friday's going to be nuts.
We're taking a 22-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow from 12 to 2. Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3. Power Hour from 3 to 4. Don't miss any of that. And then once again, 3 games on the network tonight. Some Field of Dreams baseball from the Challenger League and the boys division. And then we will also have football with the Jack Arvin Classic at 7 o'clock. So until tomorrow, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Stay tuned to YSN for all your updates, and we will see you next time.